Senators from Lagos State have said they will represent a bill seeking allocation of 1% of value-added tax to Lagos State. The bill was first introduced to the Senate by Senator Oluremi Tinubu but was rejected by the upper chamber. Speaking with journalists in Abuja, Senator Olugbenga Shafa and Solomon Olamilekun Adiola explained that 70% of federal VAT is being generated from Lagos State.
Every one of us know that 67 to 68% of VAT collected nationwide is gotten from Lagos. About 2 weeks ago, a bill was presented asking for 1% from the Federation account, only 1%, to be able to assist Lagos. There is like a special economic assistance bill, which was presented by Senator Oluremi Tinubu. That bill was not passed, and it was to the serious objection of all Lagosians and well-meaning Nigerians. Perhaps I should mention at this point that Senator Oluremi Tinubu would have been with us here, but is conducting an oversight function outside the Senate. As a matter of fact, she is abroad as we are talking. And we believe that the two other senators, my humble self, Senator Olugbenga Shafa, and my brother, the senator representing Lagos West, Senator Olamilekun Adiola, should present our views, opinions as representatives of the people of Lagos to the press and all Nigerians.
Senator Adiola said that the Lagos State needs 1% VAT to address its infrastructure pressure.
And what we are saying is this: Lagos approached the Senate with a 1% special economic assistance bill, seeking the support and the understanding of the Senate that Lagos, being the former federal capital of our dear nation, and that is the major economic capital of Nigeria as of today, is under a lot of infrastructural pressure as a result of being the former federal capital of Nigeria. And what we are seeking or asking for with the special economic assistance is for the understanding that every one of us, either one way or the other, have relations and families that reside in Lagos. And today, there is population explosion as far as Lagos is concerned. Everybody still believes the only state in Nigeria where you can live and make ends meet, and you have families and relations reside there, is Lagos State. And that upon that, we have approached the Senate to support and show understanding with us as a state that the 1% special economic assistance we are requesting or asking for is in the overall interest of Nigeria and not overall interest of the state.
From Abuja, Muwa Bamdele reporting. A bill seeking the establishment of Northeast Development Commission has came through third reading on the floor of the Senate. The establishment of the commission is expected to provide succor to the people of the Northeast, following the wanton destruction occasioned by the activity of terrorists Boko Haram. The bills came through after the consideration of clause by clauses of the ad hoc committee report of special duty.
The impact this thing has had in generality of the northeast and particularly northeast and northwestern zones of this country. So I am suggesting an amendment, sir. That is, member state means Adamawa State, Bauchi State, Borno State, Gombe State, Taraba State, and Yobe State, and any other state directly or indirectly impacted by the insecurity and humanitarian disaster of the Northeast insurgency.
I call on my colleagues from Anambra State, from Imo State, from all the states. Your citizens suffered, and they should be assisted. Savangari suffered. Savangari suffered. You need to assist in making sure Kano is included in this legislation.
It's not possible now. This is not easy.
Meanwhile, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso from Kano State, in a motion, prayed for the inclusion of Kano State to be part of Northeast Development Commission for development purposes.
But, Mr. Chairman, for the purposes of this law, the issue of this disaster that is facing the Northeast, Mr. Chairman, I want to say that it's a common knowledge that what happened in the Northeast certainly happened in Kano State. In one day, Mr. Chairman, over 200 people were killed in Kano. Properties were destroyed across the state. And, Mr. Chairman, I want to crave the indulgence of my distinguished colleagues, the senators of this Senate, to please include Kano State, especially that Kano comprises of everybody. People across the country, Yorubas, Igbos, and all other tribes lost their lives in Kano, in markets, in parks, in universities, and so on and so forth. So, Mr. Chairman, for the purposes of this law, I want you, and through you, appeal to the senators to please include Kano State for the purposes of this law. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Kabiru Marafa from Zamfara, while supporting the prayer of Senator Kwankwaso, also made a case for the inclusion of Plateau State in the bill.
Mr. Chairman, I think they said what is good for the goose is good for the gander. I rise to support the position canvassed by my colleague and leader from Northwest, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, that Kano State and Plateau State, I think, needs to be considered in this bill. What we are discussing about Northeast today is largely caused by the problems of Boko Haram. And with due respect, my distinguished colleagues, we all supported this bill, believing that it is the right thing to do for Northeast. But we are not unmindful of the fact that there are some states in the Northeast that didn't suffer 1% of what Kano State suffered in terms of Boko Haram devastation. So in spirit of togetherness, just like we supported our own friends from Northeast, believing that this is the most sensible thing to do for them, I plead that Kano State from Northwest, Plateau State from North Central should be considered, and Taraba is part of Northeast, but they have not suffered anything. They have not suffered any effect of this thing. So, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, I'm making a passionate appeal that Kano State be included, yes, in this, and Plateau State, sir.
On his remark on the bill, Senate President Bukola Saraki said the Northeast Development Commission is now in a position to receive funds and address the various challenges confronting the Northeast people.
Charged with responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account, international donors, and for the settlement, rehabilitation, reconstruction of roads, houses, business premises of victims of insurgency, as well as tackling menace of poverty, literacy level, ecological problems, and any other related environmental or developmental challenges in Northeast states, and for other related matters. Third reading. This bill is now read for the third time and passed. It is a very important bill, the Northeast Development Commission has been long overdue, that we hope that with this commission we can now be able to collaborate and have a common body that will address the problems in the Northeast. The humanitarian issues presently are challenging, and the sooner this commission can start, the better.
The major highlight of the bill passage was the approval of 3% of federal government value-added tax as part of the sources of funds for the commission. From Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
The Nigeria Customs Service has dismissed 29 senior officers for various acts of gross misconduct. This is coming barely 2 weeks after the custom had shown 17 junior officers the way out on account of bribery, drug addiction, use of fake certificates, and absence from duty. In a statement made available to newsmen and signed by Customs spokesperson Wale Adeniyi, the dismissed officers are among 44 senior officers who were punished for actions capable of compromising national economic and security. According to Adeniyi, 10 other officers were retired from service, while the appointment of one was terminated. 4 officers were given written warnings to be of better conduct, while other 4 officers who were investigated and tried for some offenses were exonerated. 4 of the officers who got the hammer were of the rank of Deputy Comptroller of Customs, while 5 were Assistant Comptroller. Others were 7 Chief Superintendents of Customs and 4 Superintendents, among others. The statement further said that the officers affected in the exercise were investigated for involvement in improper examination and release of containers without proper documentation and payment of duties, illegal release of goods in advance before the arrival of vessels, collection of bribe to release prohibited items, release of export prohibitions, fraudulent sale of seized items, use of fake certificates, and bribery to secure auctioned goods.
Hi, Mike.
Babe, it's been over 12 hours. Are you done thinking about it? Is the answer yes?
Convince me.
I know how much confidence style mean to you. Let me take you somewhere.
Where? What's that?
A superior leading international hospitality chain in the heart of Africa.
And?
They offer very distinct services. Their meeting halls and all their hotels offer conference solutions that can help plan a perfect function for any occasion. They feature outdoor catering and provide services for any size event.
Keep going. You got me thinking now.
The beauty, the decor, and the views. It's the hotel experience you always dreamed of. They have up-to-date entertainment and a variety served at the fast food restaurant and snack bar. Oh, and don't even get me started on the garden bar or the nightclub. You would have everything you need within your reach without having to go out.
Wow. So what if I want to...
Cook? They got you, babe. The rooms are thoughtfully furnished with facilities that aid proper cooking, just like you would at home.
Where is this place?
Nanette Suites.
Wow.
So, will you marry me?
Yes. How can I refuse?
Nanette Suites, a colorful affair.
Revenue allocation to the federal, states, and local governments for the month of September recorded a huge decline of 90.270 billion naira. The Federation Accounts Allocation Committee (FAC) in August distributed a sum of 510.270 billion naira, as against 420 billion naira distributed for August. The Finance Minister, Kemi Adeosun, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mahmoud Issa Dutse, while giving the breakdown, said the gross statutory revenue of 279.746 billion naira for the month was lower than the 315.045 billion naira received in the previous month by 35.299 billion naira. He said the federal government got 120.351 billion naira, representing 52.68%. States got 61.044 billion naira, representing 26.72%, while the local government councils received 47.062 billion naira, representing 20.60%. Also shared was 13.729 billion naira, which is the 13% derivation for oil-producing states.
And this amount was distributed in accordance with the distribution formula. The federal government got 120.35 billion. States got 61 billion, and local governments got 47 billion. And then the mineral producing states got an additional 13.7 billion naira. Value-added tax came to 64.265 billion naira, which again is a reduction of compared to what was realized last month, which came to 75.96 billion. So adding both statutory revenues and VAT, we had a total realized revenue for the month of October of 315 billion naira, 315.212 billion, as against 391 billion for the previous month, showing a negative variance of 75.79 billion naira. There were other items that were added: exchange gain of 41 billion, and additional distribution from excess PPT, which came to 63.3 billion, making a grand total of 420 billion naira for the month of October 2016, as against 510.271 billion for September 2016.
Issa Dutse said crude oil exports volume was decreased by 1.15 million barrels in June 2016, adding that the decrease caused a revenue decline of $45.43 per barrel in June 2016. He also said force majeure was declared at Bonny Terminal and Focados Terminal.
As you can see, there's a reduction compared to the previous month of 90.271 billion naira. And the biggest item, practically most of the lines reduced, but the biggest reduction, of course, comes from reduction in what's realized from oil revenue. And most of that decrease came because of the activities of vandals in the Niger Delta. The oil price actually increased slightly, but then we did not, as a country, benefit in terms of revenue. Reduction in production, which came close to 1 million barrels a day, is the main culprit for this reduction in revenue, which stresses the fact that as a country, we need to do everything possible to normalize conditions in the Niger Delta so that we can produce as much as we can under our international obligations.
Excess crude account stands at $2.454 billion, or some raffle.
A bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Football Association and enact the Nigerian Football Federation and other matters has passed through the second reading. The bill was sponsored by the chairman of Senate Committee on Sport, Senator Obinna Ogba. In a chat with journalists, Senator Ogba explained the rationale behind the bill.
As of now, the NFF as a name doesn't have any legal backing. And NFA, you all know that that is what the football used to answer, is by degree. That was during the military. And we felt that there's need for us to repeal it and that will govern Nigerian football. And it will go a long way in matching the standard of FIFA.
The chairman of the Senate Committee on Sport also explained that the bill seeks to make Nigerian Football Federation a private sector-driven
government involvement. I think the management without government will move fine. And what do you call about money when there's no money? You find out because of the crisis in the NFF, the corporate bodies who have been investing there withdrew. That's why they don't have any money. And the federation, in order to live, they rest all their hope on government. And now when it is time for government to bring money, it will be difficult. They will be running from post to pillar in order to raise funds. And sports shouldn't be treated that way.
To this end, Senate Sport Committee is expected to organize public hearing which will involve stakeholders on how best to run football administration in the country. From Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.